This is 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast episode 126, Tolerating Your Home, Why That Energy is Dragging You Down. Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui. It's a wonderful day here in April, and it was just the Easter weekend and had a nice family get together, a lovely dinner together, Easter dinner, and flew up from where I live down at the Gulf Coast all the way up to the top of Texas, just about almost all the way up. We're practically into Kansas anyhow, and flew to Lubbock, and took my son, or drove with my son from Lubbock all the way down to the Gulf Coast near Corpus Christi, and that was about a 10-hour drive. We had the best time. He's got a dog. Her name is Dottie because she's a Catahoula, which is called the Catahoula leopard dog. It's the state dog of Louisiana, and they are just the most interesting dogs, fascinating dogs. They have webbed feet because they are made for swamps, and they're hunters and they're trackers. They're amazing animals, and we had the best time just tooling on down the road and seeing the sights all along the way. You know, a lot of people, when I drive around Lubbock and go up to see my son in that area, they say, oh, you know, that's flyover country, and oh, there's nothing out there. And yet I always say, you know, Mother Nature doesn't make a mistake. And she has a beauty. There's a beauty in every landscape, I find. And it's one of those things that, to me, I enjoy seeing all that sky that just seems like it's just endless. It goes on and on and on. But it's one of those things that, you know, you can train your eye into the distance and see for 25 to 30 miles. I think that's remarkable when we think about that. But, you know, let's talk about where you're looking a lot closer to home. Here we go, inside of our house. We fix our sights on things that we have around the house, maybe things that we need to repair, things that we want to improve or update. And that's going to be what we're talking about today, which is tolerating your home. And are you looking at things and letting them go, like that dripping faucet or that commode that's always running and filling up and you hear it all night long, that kind of thing? I want to talk to you today about why that kind of energy just brings your energy down, because it does. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you an iTunes review that I recently received. And the reason I like to do that is because there's someone that had took the time to write that review, and maybe they're listening to this episode today, and I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. So here's what she wrote. Fun, inspiring, my favorite podcast. Thank you so much, Katie, for creating a fun, inspiring podcast with feng shui tips that are really easy to use. I'm always been interested in Feng Shui, but this podcast has shown me that it's so much more than just having red in the south and green in the southeast. I enjoy implementing the advice from your Year of the Ox Success Pack, and I'm looking to purchasing the gold level next year so I can join your Facebook group and connect with a like-minded community. And this is signed List Lover UK 40, Great Britain. Well, List Lover UK 40, we are just welcome for you anytime. So whenever you're ready, we're ready for you. And I can't wait to see you next year in the group. And I hope you'll be sure to let me know who you are, because I want to make a special shout out and say a special thank you to you. Well, thank you to everybody who tunes in and listens. If you're tuning in and listening for the first time, I'm so glad that you're here. If you're here for the, I don't know, the 50th time, either way, I really appreciate your listening to 5-Minute Feng Shui. It's a lot of fun for me to do, and it's something I look forward to each week. Now, let's start talking about your house and the energy that you have around your house, because sometimes we have a tendency to kind of overlook things. We can just let some things kind of slide, like those dirty windows, or that cabinet that won't close correctly. And what I want to impart with you is how you interact with your house can have an outer reflection. And this is something that we don't really talk a lot about with Feng Shui. A lot of times we're talking about where to put plants or where to put certain colors, that kind of thing. And, obviously finding a way to improve your home's look and feel. This is a really important part of Feng Shui, just like, finding what symbol goes where, that kind of thing. And Feng Shui is often called the art of placement. And although it's often about making changes to your home to create change in your life, sometimes we need to change our homes simply because we don't like the way they look or function. Now, you don't have to have a reason to employ Feng Shui other than you simply want to go from an environment that you put up with to one that you enjoy. And the reason why is every time you are tolerating your home, it creates negative energy. We have our energy drained whenever we look at an area. We go, oh, I got to clean up that closet. You look in that corner and you go, oh my gosh, I need to clean that sink, or I need to recaulk the tub, or whatever it is. Every time you look at something and you see something that needs to be done, or that you're putting up with, or that you're tolerating in your home, it brings your energy down. And that's an absolute truth, because when you have something in your home that drips that daily annoyance, that energy has to go somewhere. So where does it go? Well, it goes outward in your life. It drains you of energy every time you're looking at that thing that you just have to make do with. So for instance, I did something in my house with my pantry shelves. Like right now, I'm undergoing a massive kitchen renovation. It's actually going really well. It's painful. It's not fun. We have kitchen stuff everywhere. It's because there's nothing in the kitchen. It's all been taken out, and now we're getting in new cabinets and new appliances are coming in. They're ordered, and I'm anxious to see everything start to coming in at once. But you know what it is? That's how renovations work. There's a whole lot of chaos, and then all of a sudden everything comes together at once. But we're in the middle of this kitchen renovation. But there were some things that in the kitchen that were bothering me that were not really awful, but they still bugged me. So what was that? So for the thing that was bothering me in my pantry, so that's the only thing in the kitchen that hasn't been completely removed. Everything else has been down to the studs. And when I look in the pantry, all the shelves were equal height. Somebody just did not think about how you need storage to work in a pantry, because each shelf was exactly spaced high enough, but to accommodate your regular stuff, but not like a tall cereal box or a tall canister with spaghetti, or maybe a bottle of olive oil, or even a roll of paper towels. They were all just a little bit short. So I ended up having to store all those tall things either way up high on the tallest shelf or way down low on the floor. Now, I don't know about you, but I really don't like putting pasta and canisters of rice and olive oil and things like that on the floor. It just, I just don't like it. And so I said, that thing bugs me. I'm going to have this really wonderful kitchen that's going to be everything that I want, but that pantry shelf is still going to be there, and it's going to be in my way and prevent me and keep me from interacting with my pantry the way I want and storing things the way I want. So I said, while everything's torn up, might as well tear up the pantry. So Tim wasn't feeling good one Saturday, so I took it upon myself to just clear out the bottom shelf and get everything out of there, grab a hammer and some nails and loosen up the shelves and take all of the support bracket that was holding the lowest, not the one on the floor, not the shelf that was 2 inches off the floor, but there was another shelf. I thought, I'm going to just lower that. I'm going to lower that one 3 inches. And that's what I did. I took out all the support bracket holding up the shelf. I lowered it 3 inches, made sure it was all nice and level, reattached it, put the shelf back on there, and reattached the shelf to the support brackets and to the bracket that was at the back, the support shelf, or the support strip, I guess what you call it. And now I can go into my pantry and I can put all my tall canisters. This is a great example of how I was interacting with my home on a daily basis, and it was annoying me. And every time I opened up that pantry, there it was. It was something that was aggravating me, and it didn't allow me to keep my pantry organized or have it work the way I needed to. And that is, that is something that is a toleration. And I put up with it until just one day I said, I'm smart enough. I can take this all down and lower it 3 inches and then make it work the way I needed to. And that's what I want to encourage you to do, because what happens is, not only is this pantry problem, this toleration, this thing that I've been putting up with in my house gone, my pantry's better organized now and it's more efficient, and I actually get more storage space out of my pantry. Plus, it also makes me happy to see my staples where they belong and not on the floor. And this is the point. Aggravations in your home or around your home or in your decor drain you. They drain your energy. They take the life out of you. Look around your home. What is it that's bugging you? Is it the one window in the corner of your bedroom that always looks odd because there's not another one on the other side? I always think that's really kind of weird when you see like an L-shaped window and there's not, and then the bed is on the wall and there's no window on the other side. I like symmetry, and I think we all like symmetry because, well, we're a set of pairs, right? So we're a set of 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and we see things in a symmetrical way, and we like things in a symmetrical way, and that makes us calm. And this is when you see a design feature in your home that kind of gets on your nerves, or it's something that you interact with that doesn't work the way it should, like my pantry shelf. Over time, it just pulls that energy that you have down. And this is especially true if you're talking about a kitchen or a bedroom. And why is that? Because you're interacting in there all the time. We spend most of the time it's in our kitchen or a bedroom, for most people anyway. So it's one of those things that you want to look at, where is your eye falling? What is bugging you in your house? What is something that you look at and you tolerate? Maybe it's a tear in the carpet. Maybe it's a scuff on the wall of paint. And every time you look at it, your eyes in Feng Shui are connected to your heart. Do you ever notice that when your eye goes toward a defect or a squeaky hinge or something that doesn't work right, you feel a drop in your heart. You feel a drop in your energy. You literally feel it. I know I do. This is the thing that is a truth when it comes to Feng Shui. It's whenever you enter a room, your eyes automatically go to the defect or the thing that annoys you. And that's not because you're a perfectionist. It's just how we're wired. It's because things that we perceive as wrong could hurt us when we were running across the plains trying to escape from being eaten by a wild animal. It's just in our DNA. Now, of course, my pantry shelf isn't going to eat me, but if your toilet doesn't seal properly and it's constantly running, it can drain you of money. And if you're listening to that when you're in your bed at nighttime, that sound represents a leak, and that symbolizes draining of health and wealth. And listening to it is just a drain on your nerves and your pocketbook. So why is that? It's because you know something needs to be corrected. And having the knowledge of something that annoys you or that needs to be fixed, it eats away at your spirit and energy. That's one of the things that I talk a lot about in terms of how your house and how it interacts with you and how you interact with it. And do you have kind of a meh experience? And that's that experience where your life feels sort of flat. And just looking around your house, you will find something that bugs you, or that is just weighing down on you visually, weighing on you, whether you're interacting with the space. So for instance, maybe you've got a cabinet drawer that sticks, or a hinge that squeaks. And if you can fix that, your energy will be lifted. Find those things in your house that you've been tolerating and or putting up with, and take an inventory of how they pull at your energy, or how they become a weight on you. And we are in this beautiful season of spring right now, and if you're below the equator, you're in the season of fall. And I really treat those two seasons very similarly. In the fall, I just plan for what I'm going to do in the spring, and in the spring, I work on implementing those plans. And this is a really beautiful time right now to put energy toward growth, your personal growth. And one of the ways that we've been sort of stuck at home through the pandemic, it has caused us to feel like we can't do things like we normally do, and we can't. But one of the things that we can do that will help us is to see progress, to see ourselves make progress. And one of the ways that you can do that is by working on tolerations, eliminating those things that surround you in your home. It could be like a stain from chocolate ice cream on the sheet that you were eating ice cream in bed, and you drop some ice cream, and every day that you go in and make your bed, you see that spot. If you could just work on that spot and get rid of it, or buy new sheets, even something like that, it's amazing what that can do for your energy. Now, this is I think that is an opportunity with spring coming to find ways to improve our home, improve our lives, because I'm a big believer that your inner world is affected by your outer world, and your outer world is affected by your inner world. And our lives outside of us are often reflected what's going on inside of us. So if we're anxious or maybe depressed, we can have clutter and mess. I do not lecture my son about or my family about Feng Shui. I never tell people, you just need to do this with Feng Shui. I don't do that. I try not to be, nobody wants that. To be honest, nobody wants that. And so if I'm asked for advice by family members, then I'll give it. Otherwise, I don't beat that drum. But my son, when I went to pick him up and I went into his dorm room, oh my goodness gracious. Yes, that is a 21-year-old college male student. It was a mess in there. And I told him, I said, I don't bang on the Feng Shui drum all the time, and I don't nag you about it, but here's what I can tell you. As you're coming into your final semesters, he's got a summer semester and then a fall semester, and he's done. And we thought it was going to be spring, but anyway, we've got a few more classes that have to get done. At any rate, I looked around. I said, you're wanting internships, you're wanting job opportunities, make the space for it. Clean this stuff up. Clean up your room. Get rid of old things. Create space. And now that he has a four-legged girlfriend, he's got even less room in his room. So now he's got her stuff, dog collars and that kind of thing. He really, really needs to stay organized. But I emphasized about when you want something new in your life, create space for it. And the funnest or the fastest way to get to that space is by eliminating problems that are annoying you, by throwing away things, purging, getting rid of stuff, and fixing problems. One of my favorite characters on Saturday Night Live is Oscar Rogers, played by Kenan Thompson, one of my favorite actors. Love him. And I just loved his character. Oscar Rogers is an economist, and he was talking about the economy, and this is back in, I think, was it 2010 or 2011? I can't remember. But anyhow, he was known for saying, fix it, fix it. Fix it now. Identify a problem, then fix it. And I believe that Oscar Rogers lives in my head anyway, because when I see a problem, I'm like, fix it. So I did a little cleaning, just a very minor cleaning of my son's dorm, and just told him, let's look at it. Let's just see if this doesn't make you feel better. He's like, it doesn't make me feel better, Mom. So I'm hoping that he's going to go back to his dorm room and do the rest of the cleaning job on his, I did the living area, and I'm hoping now he'll do his bathroom in his room, which he did not want me to touch. Gosh, such a 21-year-old. Anyway, this is just a good example of why we want to repair things that are broken, why we want to beautify our homes. We want to remove the things that are annoying us and aggravating us. Bad designs, like light switches that when they're off, they're put in backwards, or the hot water and the cold water taps are reversed. Things like that. That's just like, they're wrong. And Oscar says, fix it now, and he's absolutely right. It's true. Your home should support and nurture you, not tax you and not make you tolerate living there. It's definitely not good feng shui, but fixing it is. All right, I hope this has inspired you to look around your house, get going on doing some things to improve your home, to do some maintenance, fix those annoying things like that pantry shelf of mine. If you need help, I'll bring my tool belt and we'll come right over and we'll knock it out. Okay, I want to leave you with 3 tips important for this particular episode of tolerations, why your home's energy could be dragging you down. Number 1, eliminate house tolerations. Go in and fix those things that are really bugging you. A torn sofa cushion, a stain on the carpet, whatever it is. Get in there with a needle and thread, get in there with some spot remover and fix it. Fix those tolerations. Correct the things that are bothering you, because we need happiness right now. We need progress, and we need to feel like things are working for us and in our lives. And I believe doing these things internally will have an external effect. That's the whole idea behind feng shui. I'm doing this to my home to create this effect in my life. Tip number 2, tend to repairs. If you see something that's broken, that means broke. So we want to make sure that everything is in good working order in your house. Remember, broken equals broke. We don't want to be broke. And even sometimes the broke is not financial. Sometimes it's just feeling like we're stuck and that we're not moving forward, and that we're not making progress. So when you have a repair that needs to be made, like a pane of glass that's broken, there's some repairs that we have a tendency not to do, like broken glass, that kind of thing. Get it fixed, because that repair is a drain on you. It's like a leak in your energy, and those repairs just drip at your energy. And we want to actually add to your energy, like a bank account. We want to see deposits made, right? All right, tip number 3 is put your vision on something that thrills you. Wherever you sit in your living room, be seated as a guest. Be seated as you sit, and look from every angle. Is there something beautiful for your eyes to rest on? Find something to put in every direction, so that everywhere you look, it's something beautiful. Whatever the corner is, when you walk into any room, there's always a natural place where your eye goes. Put something beautiful there. It's amazing how that can lift your energy and bring the feeling of your home up. And that's what we're talking about, is getting all of the energy that we can out of our homes to see growth and advancement in our lives. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out with me this week and talking about tolerations and how that energy in your home could be dragging you down, and work on those things. If you start doing some changes around your house and you start seeing some changes in your life, let me know about it. Love to hear from you. Send me an email, katie@redlotusletter.com. And if you feel so inclined, leave an iTunes review. I'd love to hear from you. And if you feel like letting me know that you did it, shoot me an email. I'd love to call you out on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui. Thanks a lot. Have a great week. I'll talk to you on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui.